Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, a deal is finally done. The Padres have been sold to a man who's won more than a few World Series.
And San Diego Sikh community educates others about their religion and remembers victims of the Wisconsin shooting. Plus, which high-tech devices do students really need as they prepare to head back to school?
Also tonight, we'll show you a program trying to give San Diego's poorest children a better chance at a healthy life. And we'll get a closer look at one of the mysteries of the deep appearing off our coast. KPBS Evening Edition starts now. It's the dog days of summer, and San Diego Padres haven't gotten much relief from a dismal baseball season, but things may be turning around in the front office. The team owner has finally brokered a deal to sell the franchise to a group that includes a native son. KPBS senior news editor Mark Sauer joins us from the News Center with an update. So, Mark, who's buying the Padres?
It's the O'Malley Group, led by Peter O'Malley, former co-owner of the LA Dodgers, and his sons and nephews. They're considered baseball royalty. When the family owned the Dodgers from 1950 to 1998, they won 18 pennants and 6 World Series championships. Another very interesting member of this group is golfer Phil Mickelson, the San Diego native who's among the top money winners in PGA history. And they bought the club for about $800 million from longtime owner John Moores and former baseball agent Jeff Moorhead.
And this deal ends a period of limbo for Padre fans, right?
Yes, the Moorhead Group, Moorhead headed a group that pledged $500 million in 2009 to buy the club from Moores, but that deal was nixed in January by baseball's owners. No official reason was given, but it was speculated that the recent ill-fated ownership of the Dodgers in LA made many owners wary that Jeff Moorhead's group lacked deep pockets and the know-how to run the San Diego franchise.
So what will this mean to the players on the field and the city of San Diego?
A spokesman for the new owners, who will control 100% of the team and Petco Park, said, quote, "We will field exciting and winning teams," reserving further comment till the deal is formally approved. Under Moores, who paid $80 million for the team, the Padres reached the World Series in 1998 and the playoffs in 2005 and 2006, but they've had terrible records ever since, and the great hope for fans and downtown businesses and those counting city tax revenues is that a winning team will mean success on many levels.
Yeah, let's hope so. KPBS senior news editor Mark Sauer. The Carrier Classic might not return to San Diego after all. Last year, the college basketball game was held on the deck of the USS Carl Vinson, but there were no ships available this year, so it was moved to South Carolina. Game organizers had said they hoped to return to San Diego in 2013, but now they say they want to keep it in South Carolina permanently. An Escondido woman is set to make history as the first female to compete for Saudi Arabia in an Olympic track and field event. 19-year-old Sarah Atter is entered in the final heat of the women's 800 meters. She holds dual citizenship through her father. Atter graduated from Escondido High School. She's studying art at Pepperdine. Her race is scheduled at 3:35 a.m. our time. A San Diego lawmaker wants an audit of Escondido's controversial driver's license and sobriety checkpoints. Immigrant rights activists say police use them to target undocumented immigrants. And the ACLU says it's concerned the city is profiting from impound fees. Escondido has done its own audit and says the fees are justified. But State Senator Christine Kehoe wants an audit to ensure full transparency. Activists trashed a bank in Mountain View today. They tried to deposit trash at a Bank of America branch. The trash came from a vacant foreclosed home in the area. The activists were promoting a proposed ordinance requiring banks to maintain foreclosed properties or face fines.
This is unfortunately an all too common example of what's happening. The bank forecloses on a property and they don't take care of the situation. This is bad for property values, it attracts crime, it attracts rodents, and what we're here to say is that they need to take responsibility to be good neighbors.
The ordinance is expected to be heard by the full city council this fall. A guilty plea today by the man who killed 6 people and wounded 13 others in Tucson last year in a shooting rampage targeting Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. She was one of the injured. The guilty plea by Jared Loeffner allows him to avoid the death penalty. A Denver TV station says James Holmes' psychiatrist asked police to do a background check on him in early June. Holmes is accused of killing a dozen people in a movie theater on July 20th. The report cites sources close to the investigation. It says police found no criminal record. Holmes was in the process of withdrawing from the university when the shooting happened. Police agencies call racist skinheads a dangerous threat to communities in San Diego and throughout the country. Peggy Pico is taking a closer look in this report.
The gunman killed 6 people and critically wounded 3 more.
We may never know if the murder of 6 people at a Sikh temple in Wisconsin was a hate crime. What we do know is the shooter, Wade Michael Page, had been active with white supremacy groups, including hate rock bands in Southern California. Southern Poverty Law Center found 133 separate racist skinhead groups in the U.S. today. The FBI says in 2010, there were 39 hate crimes committed in San Diego County. Of those, 25% were based on race or religion. And since 9/11, the Sikh community throughout the U.S. has reported thousands of hate crime incidents, workplace discrimination, school bullying, racial and religious profiling. An estimated 400 Sikh families live in San Diego County. Here to talk about the Sikh religion and the impact of the Wisconsin shooting on the community is Sikh Foundation San Diego Vice President Gurinder Singh and Director of Operations Amardeep Singh. Thank you both for being here. Amardeep, there's a few families in San Diego that have ties to some of the victims in Wisconsin.
That is correct. The priest at the temple, or the Gurdwara that we have in Poway, he was actually childhood friends with 2 of the priests that unfortunately were shot and killed in the tragedy that took place on Sunday. And we also heard in Escondido there were some families that were actually, there was one family that had relations with one of the people that was also injured.
Brings it home a little bit. Gurinder, have you taken any extra security measures, or have there been in the community and or at the houses of worship in light of the shootings?
We have not changed anything. We've been part of the San Diego community for a very long time, and we feel secure here. You know, and the Sikh faith itself is open to all. Our Gurdwara, our main, is always open. He has 4 doors. Is open to everybody. So we can't say, "Oh, we're going to close down to anybody." So it's more about educating people and letting them know about us, and once they find out about us, you know, that will change, and we need to educate, and that's what we are hoping that we can do and reach out to the community. And we got so many nice responses from people on the street and even from our interfaith friends that it's just been wonderful, and we feel safe and secure.
Okay. You feel safe and secure now. What about, there have been hate crimes in the past. Can you briefly tell me, do you feel like there is an increased incidence in hate crimes?
So if you look at statistics, yes, for Sikhs, you know, since 9/11 it has changed, and you know, people look at anybody who looks different, they kind of all of a sudden become defensive. So we got to change that by perception that, hey, we are all Americans, we are all part of this country, and I'm as American as anybody else. I just happen to look different, and I practice a different belief. So my belief system actually aligns so much with American values that Sikhism is so close to American values. We believe in equality. Everybody is the same. So, you know, we look forward to, educating everybody about that, and, you know, hopefully that'll change the perception.
Amardeep, there's been some confusion between people looking at Sikhs, Muslims, Islam. Why do you think that is?
It's a shame, really, that there is this confusion. I think it obviously stems from some of the beliefs that people have said, the incidents at 9/11 and things like that have been attributed to other faiths. But, I mean, you know, a hate crime is a hate crime. You have many people of, you know, the other religions, Muslim religion and Sikh religions, that practice religion, that practice the religion, and we're all in this together. So in order to build a better America, in order to keep, staying on the beliefs of what this country was founded on, we all need to find a way to live together and come with this.
I want to ask you, the turbans. Tell me the significance of that, and do you think that makes you more of a target?
I think it does. It makes people kind of take a step back first before they actually come out and talk to us. But it's simply an identity that was given to us by our 10th guru. One of the founding beliefs of our system is that we share with others. So, and that's sharing not just, you know, in terms of a financial sense, that somebody may not be as fortunate as you and need your help, but time, help in other things that may be needed. So it provides us with an identity where we do stand out, so we can't shirk from our responsibilities. So if you go down the street and you happen to see a gentleman with a turban, his beard may be free-flowing, it may be tied up, you know straight away that that's a Sikh person, so therefore he's supposed to be honest and, you know, have integrity, and he's going to help me out wherever in my time of need.
Okay. Before we go, I want to ask very quickly if you can just tell me about, Gurinder, can tell me about the memorial tonight.
So the memorial is going to be at 7:30 in the Gurdwara in Poway. So you can go to our website, www.sdsikhs.org, and you can find information there. But we'll have...
That'll be Wednesday night, correct?
Wednesday
night, yes,
okay.
Wednesday night, tomorrow night.
All right. Well, we can send people there and they can find out more
absolutely.
about it.
There'll be a candlelit vigil from 7:30 to 8. The main service will still take place between 6:15 to 7:30, so you're more than welcome to have people show up anytime they like, and there'll be refreshments. And at the end of the vigil, there will be a vegetarian community dinner that we all share in, and we'd love to have everybody come out for that.
Okay. Amardeep and Gurinder Singh, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Music lovers are mourning the loss of composer Marvin Hamlisch. He died last night. Hamlisch wrote some of the most memorable songs of the past few decades. From the theme of The Sting to music from a chorus line, he was the principal pops conductor for the San Diego Symphony, who said he just worked at his music and kept on working, with several projects underway at his death. Marvin Hamlisch was 68. Access to prenatal care is a challenge for poor, uninsured women who don't speak English. And once their babies are born, pediatric care can also be hard to get. KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg says for the last 5 years, a San Diego program has helped more than 1,000 families get a healthy start in life.
Maria Barraza's first stop on this Tuesday morning is to see a client in an apartment in the City Heights neighborhood of San Diego. Barraza is an outreach worker for the California Border Healthy Start Project. Today she's visiting Elena Trujillo, who is 7 months pregnant.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Gracias.
Barraza's job is to make sure Trujillo is staying on track with her medical appointments. Barraza checks that she's getting her Medi-Cal benefits and that she's taking her prenatal vitamins.
¿Qué estás, mamá? Dame besito.
Barraza also wants to see how Trujillo's 18-month-old daughter Leah is doing.
¿Dónde está la pelota, mamá? ¿Quieres el libro?
Barraza takes note of the little girl's language and social skills. Trujillo says the program has made a big difference in her life.
The program has been great. I've gotten a lot of support. The classes that they've given me have helped a lot with my kids and my health.
In addition to home visits, the program offers free classes on a variety of topics, including how to prevent childhood obesity.
Más que nada, yo he aprendido a hacerles comida saludable.
More than anything, I've learned how to cook good food, which has really improved my family's health. We used to eat a lot of lard and tortillas, and they told me that those kinds of foods make you fat. So I've learned a lot, and we're trying not to eat like that. We want to eat better, more healthy.
Los panes y las tortillas, eso es lo que lo lleva uno a engordar más.
This program targets women in San Diego County's poorest neighborhoods, where overall health is bad and infant mortality is high. There are more than 100 federally funded Healthy Start projects in the U.S. This is the only one that serves California's border region. Program Director Maria Lourdes Reyes explains their clientele are primarily Spanish-speaking. That's why it's crucial to have outreach workers who speak the language and know the culture.
And so the concept there is that here's someone who belongs to the community, who the community can feel trusted with. And with that bond, then we're able to break the barriers that exist among these women that we need to serve. So that's the basic goal, and taking care of the pregnant woman and their infant and child up to 2 years of age.
Dr. Reyes says part of their mission is to help pregnant women get into prenatal care as early as possible.
So we've seen an improvement of up to 90% from our baseline of entry into prenatal care for our women. So that's a great outcome. In addition, we screen all our women for depression and also for domestic violence. That's a key sub-focus of our project.
The program also provides women with a specially trained labor coach. These coaches, called doulas, get together with women well before their delivery date.
With that, we can know what they really want for the delivery. Plus, we educate them. We encourage for breastfeeding, which is very, very important for us, and a natural birth, which is also very important.
But it's the contact between the clients and the outreach workers that make up the meat and potatoes of the program.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, mamá? ¿Qué haciendo?
Maria Barraza is in South San Diego to visit Angelica Foster and her 2-year-old Ariana.
Ay, qué bonito. ¿Te vas conmigo? Mira, te voy a enseñar un libro de perritos.
After reading with Ariana, Barraza checks to see that her vaccinations are up to date. Barraza says 90% of her clients are undocumented. They need referrals to community clinics and services like the San Diego Food Bank.
Because they are afraid that, okay, I don't want to go to this agency because if I go, they're going to request for papers or they're going to say, no, you cannot have any services. But there are many services free of charge that they don't know that they can get help with.
And for those who say we shouldn't be helping people who are here illegally, Barraza has a quick response.
Not just legal people have rights. I would say that we all are human beings. Rather, you have papers I don't have, or it doesn't matter to me. What it matters is that we have to help the community and have a better future for our children.
KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg. The Border Healthy Start Project is one of 9 programs in the U.S. to receive a new federal grant to expand its services. As students get ready to go back to school, they'll be taking more than a number 2 pencil and some folders. Peggy tells us about electronic devices on the back-to-school list.
Electronic devices like iPads, e-readers, and smartphones are changing the way teachers and students operate in the classroom. To help sort out the high-tech back-to-school list are my guests, tech expert Jim Berry with the nonprofit Consumer Electronics Association, and Emil Ahangazadeh, an integrated technology coordinator with San Diego County Office of Education. Jim, what are the hot new gadgets on the back-to-school list this year?
Well, it's interesting. The hot new gadgets for back-to-school are the same as everybody is buying. They are tablet computers, smartphones, e-book readers, and laptop computers.
Okay, and you have something else there. Tell me about the rod right there that's sort of the power charger.
This is the N-Power Peg. This is cool for just about all of us run out of juice in our smartphones or our tablets. This N-Power Peg for smartphones, you carry this around in your backpack or your bag all day, and it charges using kinetic energy. So you'll have some backup charge for your devices if you run low.
Carry it with you.
Yes, carry it in your bag, your briefcase, or your backpack.
Jim, if you had to pick, there's a lot of devices here. If you had to pick the top 2 or 3 for students, let's say K through 12 students, what would you say?
For students, I think, well, K is a little young, but I think as you get up through middle school and high school, a laptop computer is certainly one that you need. An e-book reader, more and more high school and colleges are using e-books. So I'd say those are probably the 2 that you're definitely going to need.
The top ones.
Yeah.
Emil, how have these electronic devices changed how teachers are teaching in the classroom and how students are learning?
It's been a remarkable change in the classroom. What it's in essence done is it's broken down the walls of the classroom. So now learning can happen anywhere at any time. So it's not an 8 to 3 proposition anymore. The student can pull out his tablet on the bus ride home and review the lesson that they acquired just a couple hours ago. So it's making a big change and extending the learning period.
These devices aren't cheap, hundreds of dollars for each of them sometimes. Emil, any discounts at schools? What if students can't afford it?
Well, you know, the schools can't afford it either right now, to be perfectly honest with you. In our current budget climate, schools are just cutting back as much as they can. But there is a wonderful resource. There's a new program called Connect to Compete that is about to become a national project. We just piloted it here in San Diego, and in essence what it does is it affords families that qualify with $9.95 or $9.99 internet connectivity per month, which is a remarkable price. And secondly, families that qualify can actually purchase fully functional refurbished computers for as low as $150 with the operating system and all the software suite most students can use. So Connect to Compete is the place to take a look at to see if your family qualifies.
Jim, how about companies? I know Apple years ago provided discounts to schools. Are any of the companies helping out with schools?
Yeah, plenty to do with schools buying there. And for individuals, if you're looking, you know, there's no better bang for your buck than buying consumer electronics because the prices get lower on all of these devices. Not true of just about anything else. We were talking about laptop computers. They start these days at just a couple of $100s. I have a student that went off 4 years ago, another one going now to college. The difference in the price in the laptops we're buying for them is remarkable.
What about them being outdated? Let me ask you that, Jim.
Yeah.
So it seems like, you know, you get something and it's good for 2 years.
Yeah, well, maybe good for longer than that. And with computers, for instance, you're going to want to upgrade the software. So you're looking for something, you might want to stretch a little bit when you're buying to get something a little more than you need so that it won't be as outdated as quickly. But that's the biggest change in electronics, is that how quickly things change. So you want to get something as much as you can afford that has a little future-proofing built in.
That you can upgrade. Yeah. Emil, how have these devices basically, how have they leveled the playing field in the classroom?
Well, they're giving access to various content that in some cases kids wouldn't be able to access. Like, for example, in some rural communities, AP courses aren't even offered, you see, and so kids can't even access those kinds of classes so they can be competitive in the college setting. And so what devices do, and really the main technology, which is the internet, what it allows these students to be able to do is to, in essence, be able to access courses that they otherwise wouldn't be able to.
All right, Emil and Jim, thank you both for being here. Now you can find out more about this on our website, kpbs.org.
Black jellyfish were only discovered as a species in the late 1990s, and these unusual creatures are now being found along the San Diego coastline. In fact, the Living Coast Discovery Center in Chula Vista has collected more than a dozen to show folks what their arrival says about the condition of our coastal waters.
So welcome to the Discovery Center.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. So we're all about bringing people closer to local wildlife, getting them up close to see those animals that live right here in our own backyard.
Wendy Spalding has been with the Living Coast Discovery Center in the South Bay for 2 years now. She says San Diego is seeing more black jellyfish than ever before.
In the last decade or so, we've seen them about 5 times in our local waters, whereas in the 100 years before that, they were seen about 5 times.
Up close, under light, they look more maroon than black. These jellyfish start out very small and can grow to the size of a large trash can lid. But Spalding can only speculate at this point why they're showing up here.
It's a big mystery and scientists are looking into it. We think it might have something to do with increased plankton blooms, so increased nutrients in the water, making larger blooms of plankton, which these guys eat. It might also have to do with warming currents in the ocean.
And like a blooming rose, these pretty creatures can also be painful.
Most of our jellies in our local waters don't have a very bad sting. All jellies have a sting. That's how they catch their food. These guys do have a pretty potent sting. It's not fatal, but it hurts.
About 75,000 people visit the Discovery Center every year. And for some, it's a big surprise.
I'm amazed at the work that they've done out here. I live in Chula Vista, so sorry to say, for 20-some years, and it's my first time being here.
But it won't be her family's last. Today, they became members of the Living Coast Discovery Center. It used to be called the Nature Center when the city of Chula Vista ran it.
Tonight in our public square, John Burke of Oceanside emailed us about a story that we did on the troubles of San Onofre. The nuclear power plant has been shut down since January, and a recent KPBS investigation revealed the plant failed to correct fire safety lapses despite warnings from the federal government. Burke's recommendation? I suggest that the NRC and the plant operator may need to wake up, get out of their shared bed, and keep us better informed on specifically who was responsible and what specific procedural changes have been made. On Facebook, Nancy Beal thinks the problems could be solved this way. Shut it down. It should have never been built in the first place. And on our website, an unimpressed Roberto Rolando Salinas wrote, "This is business as usual. When the meltdown comes, it will be the feds with taxpayer money subsidizing the corporate pariah." Join in on this conversation or any others on KPBS by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, or email us at publicsquare@kpbs.org.
And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.